I need to tell you something that's been weighing on me, something I never thought I'd share with anyone. It all started a few months ago. Life felt complicated. My relationship with my wife, Sarah, had hit a rough patch. We were more like roommates than partners. The spark we once had just a distant memory. The silence in our home was deafening, filled with unspoken frustrations. We were both just going through the motions, and I felt incredibly lonely, even when she was right there beside me. Then, my mom's neighbor, Clara, came into the picture. Clara was recently widowed, a kind, gentle soul who always had a warm smile for everyone. My mom would often ask me to help Clara with things around her house, fixing a leaky faucet, mowing the lawn, that sort of thing. I didn't mind. It felt good to be useful, to be appreciated. Clara and I started talking. At first, it was just small talk while I worked, but soon our conversations grew deeper. She'd make me a cup of tea, and we'd sit on her porch and just talk about everything and nothing. She told me about her late husband, the life they built together, and the quiet emptiness of her house now. I found myself opening up to her in a way I hadn't with anyone in years, not even Sarah. I told her about my job, my dreams, the growing distance in my marriage. Clara listened. She didn't offer advice or judgment. She just listened. And in her eyes, I saw a reflection of my own loneliness. There was this unspoken understanding between us, a connection that felt both comforting and dangerous. I started finding excuses to go over to her house, even when my mom hadn't asked. I'd tell Sarah I was helping my mom, but I'd spend hours with Clara instead. One afternoon, I was fixing a loose floorboard in her living room. We were talking, laughing about something silly, and the air between us suddenly changed. The laughter died down, and we just looked at each other. In that moment, the world seemed to fade away. All I could see was her, this person who saw me, who understood my quiet ache without me having to say a word. And then she reached out and gently touched my hand. It was a simple gesture, but it sent a jolt through me. It was a touch of warmth, of connection, something I had been starving for. All the loneliness, the frustration, the longing, it all swelled up inside me. In that moment, I knew I was crossing a line I could never uncross. We didn't say anything, we didn't have to. The look in her eyes said it all. It was a silent invitation into a world away from my own, a world where I wasn't just a husband going through the motions, but a man who was seen and desired. The guilt was immediate and overwhelming, a cold knot in my stomach. I was betraying Sarah, my vows, everything I was supposed to stand for. But the pull towards Clara, towards that feeling of being truly seen, was intoxicating. It was like a lifeline in the middle of a storm. I knew it was wrong. Every part of my conscience screamed at me, but I felt trapped between the cold reality of my marriage and the warm, inviting connection I had found with Clara. Over the next few weeks, our secret continued. Stolen moments, whispered conversations, shared glances filled with a meaning no one else could understand. Every time I was with her, I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. But every time I went home to Sarah, the guilt ate away at me. I'd look at her, and all I could see was my betrayal. She didn't deserve this. She was a good person, and I was breaking her trust in the most profound way possible. The lie started to consume me. I was jumpy, irritable, distant. Sarah noticed, of course. She'd ask me what was wrong, if I was okay, and I'd just brush it off, making excuses about work stress. The wall between us grew higher with every lie I told. I was living a double life, and the strain was becoming unbearable. The turning point came one evening when Sarah planned a surprise date night. She'd cooked my favorite meal, lit candles, put on music we used to love. She was trying so hard to reconnect, to find that spark we'd lost. She looked at me with so much hope in her eyes, and it was like a knife to the heart. I saw the woman I had fallen in love with, the woman I had promised to cherish, and I realized the depth of what I was doing. I was destroying her, and I was destroying myself. This secret affair wasn't a solution. It was a symptom of a much deeper problem in my marriage, a problem I had been running from instead of facing. The connection with Clara wasn't real love. It was an escape from my own failure to communicate, to be a good partner, to fight for the love that was right in front of me. That night I knew I had a choice to make. I could continue down this path of deceit and destroy everything, or I could face the truth, no matter how painful it was. I ended things with Clara. It was difficult, and there were tears, but it had to be done. The hardest part, though, was yet to come. I had to tell Sarah. I owed her the truth. I sat her down and confessed everything. It was the hardest conversation of my life. Seeing the pain and betrayal in her eyes is something I will never forget. Her world shattered in that moment, and it was all my fault. I'm not sharing this story to make excuses or to gain sympathy. I'm sharing it because I made a terrible mistake, and I want others to learn from it. If you're feeling lonely or disconnected in your relationship, don't look for an escape. Talk to your partner. Be honest about how you're feeling. Go to counseling. Fight for what you have before you do something you'll regret for the rest of your life. The road to rebuilding trust with Sarah has been long and incredibly difficult. We're in therapy, both individually and together. Some days are better than others. I don't know if our marriage will survive this, but I know I have to try. I have to face the consequences of my actions and work every single day to become a man worthy of her forgiveness. Betrayal leaves scars that may never fully fade, and that's a truth I have to live with. If my story can prevent even one person from making the same mistake, then sharing this pain will have been worth it. Thanks for listening.